This training that I'm about to share with you is at least worth $2,000. I know that for sure, because simply actually working one-on-one with Simon, I'm going to introduce you to in just a second, which I'm really excited, actually is going to cost you about $25,000 as a starting investment. And this guy is one of the guys that so many of the very best go to consult with. And when it really comes to building your business now, what is it that you need to be doing? Because let's be perfectly honest, the most important thing that you need to be doing to building your fitness business right now is doing the right things in the right order. And if you don't, I think you're absolutely doomed, because some gyms and personal trainers are literally going out of business right now. Others are actually thriving because there is huge opportunity for you to be able to take advantage of. That's why I wanted to share with you this training that we did for the members inside of the Coaches Cartel. And I wanted to give this to you because this is really, really important that you do the right things and you do them in the right order, because there is the entire world right now going to online fitness. The game has changed, and it's changed forever. And this is exactly how you are going to make such a big difference, by knowing exactly what it is that you need to do.
You know, if you're talking to people, you've got to be able to say to them, you need, if the focus is just on surviving, and it's not on surviving to thrive, not surviving and thrive, but surviving to thrive. If the focus is just on survival, everything is a cost now and nothing is an investment. But if you're focusing on surviving to thrive, some things are still going to be an investment in the future. And you've got to be able to figure out what is and what is not. And so, you know, the formula to survive, to thrive is, as a business leader, if you're a green line leader, you'll get everything I'm about to talk about. If you're a red line leader, none of this will make sense to you, but that's your choice. But if you're a green line leader, you'll get what I say when I say you've got to have clarity. You've got to create certainty. In other words, you've got to take control over the things that you're responsible for. Not control over what you can control, but control over the things you're responsible for. And then you've got to be able to drive commitment, move people to action, and move yourself to action. You've got to be able to influence the choices other people make. And then you've got to be able to, you know, build courage and strength inside your business. So what drives that? What drives that, firstly, is that you stay anchored as the business leader. You've got to move from being scared to stable. The unfortunate thing of the current times is that leaders do not have the same choices that followers have. They never have had. The leader of a business has never had as many choices as the staff. Staff can come and go. Staff can choose to put in on a certain day or not. But the leaders don't have the same choices. The leaders need to be stable. Everyone in your business needs you to be a rock. Everyone in your family needs you to be a rock. And so you've got to stay anchored. And when you stay anchored, and then you can be strategic, even though right now every instinct in you says just survive, but instead you stay strategic and you move from reactive to proactive. Stability and proactivity gives you a level of clarity and certainty. And then if you add to that, keep driving the business. You've got a choice right now. Are you going to surrender or fight? Now, if you're a green line leader, I know what your choice is going to be. If you're a red line leader, you've already made that decision. Why are you still watching this presentation? And, you know, if you're proactive and you're going to fight, you will be able to move other people to action as well and get commitment. They'll see it in you and they'll follow you. And if you're stable and you're willing to fight, other people will take courage from you. But if you don't stay anchored, rampant fear will run wild through your business, and it will hit a point where you can't stop it. If you're not strategic, you lose all control over everything. Now, I'm not actually telling you that you can have total control right now, because you can't. But if you don't remain strategic in your thinking, you lose all control. And if you don't drive the business, you hit the red line at a rapid rate. You run out of cash, you burn rates, you know, a month and a half, 2 months, and you're done. So how do we make that happen? Well, the first thing you need to do to stay anchored is face reality. Well, what does that mean? Do not base your opinions on anything but factual truth. So don't take a politician's summary of the virus and how it spreads and how dangerous it is as reality. You want to listen to the virologists talking about it. So when Trump is saying, we're going to have a vaccine in 2 months, and his medical guy off to the side said, no, more like 18, I know who you should be believing. Even though you want to believe 2 months, that's not facing reality. You got to face reality. And that means be careful where you get your information from. Be super careful where your information from. So, you know, you can buy cheap information and it could be wrong, and you can buy expensive information and it can be absolutely accurate. And one's an investment and one's a cost. The second thing you got to do is remain calm. And, you know, remaining calm is the skill of great leadership. You know, remaining calm under fire is what the greatest military leaders have always done. Remaining calm is the key to accurate thinking. And accurate thinking is the key to success under any economic environment. Remain calm. And there's a bunch of stuff you can do to remain calm. You know, from interesting, Todd Herman just interviewed now 79 business leaders, $2 million to $500 million companies, and the top 3 all had a daily meditation practice. So what are you doing with your routines? Are you still exercising? As crazy as this sounds, are you still reading a business book for 30 minutes every morning? A business book that's got nothing to do with the coronavirus? You know, do you have a game of chess going in your household that's an ongoing game of chess that you're playing with your eldest child, and as you each walk past, you move a piece? You know, what are you doing to remain calm? If you've got a dog, are you actually spending time with it, or are you going, I don't have time for the dog right now? And then the third element of staying anchored is stay connected. So put yourself into a community of people that are good thinkers and who are calm and who are anchored and who know how to discuss reality in a productive way, not in a fearful way. Do not put yourself into a group where people are discussing reality and then everyone's quietly sitting around, you know, pulling their eyebrows out and rocking. You stay connected. Put yourself into a group. Connect with people who help you stay anchored and calm and help you face reality. Now, if you don't have a group like that, find one, and you might have to pay for it. But if you pay for that, what you're buying for your business is a stable leadership. When it comes to strategic, it starts with ensure the genius of your business. So you may have to cut staff and you may have to cut systems and stuff like that. But inside your business, there's a point of genius that is your only true piece of differentiation. And you must ensure that. So it could be a key person. It could be one person. It could be a piece of IP. It could be a bit of software. It could be a bit of infrastructure or an asset or a key process or a training program. Whatever it is, there's really only a small amount of genius in most businesses, despite the fact that we'd all love to think that we've all got enormous genius in the business. And what times like these highlight is how small those pieces, those centers of genius actually are. And you must ensure that. You must protect that. And in fact, what will happen out the other side is everything else that was not important will have been cut away. And then your genius amplifies. So simplification amplifies. But do not disable the genius of your business. The second thing you've got to do from a strategic point of view is calibrate your message. Every single marketing message you've been using is no longer valid. Every single sales conversation you've been using will not work. Every product that you've taken to market in the past is probably wrong right now. So you've got to calibrate every aspect of your message, and there's a way to do that. And so, do things like use the value triangulation model. Find the conversion line and apply the product pivot formula that we've put together. You've got to recalibrate your message, and then you need to understand time. So time is the strategic leveler. So here's the absolute certainty that we have right now. It is March 2020, and in 36 months it'll be March 2023. And everything will be different then. And somewhere between now and then, we're going to cross a survival line. And the survival line is when greed takes over from fear. And when we cross that, a bunch of people are going to do really, really well. And they're the green line leaders. So, you know, when you invest now, you're investing in the tipping point that will occur as time passes. So, you know, the great leveler is time. And if you haven't invested, even now, when every instinct is saying bunker down, time will pass and you'll miss the tip when it occurs. In terms of driving business, you've got to protect your base. So of course we've got to talk about cash flow, but you need to apply a discretionary spend continuum. You need to define what discretionary spend looks like, and you need to run through every single line item in the business and put them on the discretionary expense continuum. And you've got to pick a number on that continuum and kill everything that is above a certain number in terms of discretionary. But you've also got to protect the base in terms of people. The soft option is to say to your people, we've only got, you know, we've got a burn rate of 4 months. So I'm going to have to let a bunch of you go because I've stripped out every cost from the business that I can. I'm not taking a salary. And, you know, even with that and with where sales are at the moment, we've basically got 4 months. And so I'm going to have to let some people go. What you haven't asked your staff to do is to cut their discretionary expense and come back to you with their bottom number. And if you put everyone's bottom number together and you say we all cut our discretionary expense, maybe we can keep this business together for a bit longer. But if our collective bottom number is X, because we've all gone to the base, could we make enough sales to just cover that? Because all we need to do is break even until we get through this. And every month that we break even is another month we add to the burn rate. So if we need to collectively find a bottom number. You've got a choice. It's not my job to cover your discretionary expenditure, your optional expenditure in these times. Now, if that's not for you, then maybe we have to part ways. But you know, if I'm going to fight, I need a team that's going to fight with me. And then the next thing is to stake a claim. You know, for some people now is the time to claim market share like a monster. So in every single sale of a product or a service in every single market, in every single type of market, including this market, there's a point where we hit the frictionless conversion line. And what I mean by that is people will buy this as a no-brainer because the price is right, based on what you're offering. Now, I'm not saying you offer your most expensive product at a bargain basement price just so people can buy it. I am saying pivot your product. And so what does pivot your product mean? That's the product pivot formula. There's a formula to this, but you know, you've got to actually stake a claim now by being a person that shows up in the market with something that's totally appropriate and will provide acute care to your clients. We are not in the preventative solution business right now. Once again, we apply the value, you know, the triangulation value and, you know, fix, prevent, improve, and, you know, stake a claim in the marketplace. Now, does it mean that you will absolutely win market share? There's no certainty right now. But if you shift your product in a structured and deliberate way, you've got a better shot than everybody else. But simple question is, if I said I would work with you for $100 a week, how many people would do it right now? And the answer is hundreds of them. With the work that I do and the way I think, and if I said to people, I'm going to show you how to, you know, I'm going to teach a whole bunch of models that are useful today in selling, and I'm going to teach a process I call Sell by Zoom, and I'm going to teach you how to think strategically and work through motivation with your team. And it's going to be $100 a week. How many of you would buy? And the answer is more than I could handle. I'm below the frictionless conversion line. So I need to bring the price up a bit, you know. But you've got to find that frictionless conversion line, because that's where you stake the claim in the market in this kind of economy. And then the last thing is maximize sales. So, you know, we're in a world that is sell by Zoom right now. And you can't sell, you can't use complexity to sell in an uncertain market. And you can't sell uncertainty into an uncertain market. So when the customer is uncertain, what they want from you is a certain price. They're not going to buy, well, let's put the project together and I'll put a quote together and we'll work out what it's going to cost. And they're not going to buy, well, you know, it's $5,000 a month plus ad spend. Well, how much is ad spend? Well, you know, it depends on, no, it's uncertain. They're not going to buy, it's $5,000 a month. And, you know, for the first 3 months, we're going to do an assessment of your business and get a strategic plan written. So, but what will that plan do for me? Well, we'll be clear about where we're headed. No, understand time. The strategic window right now is 3 months. So you can't say to somebody, it's going to take us, you know, 12 weeks onboarding. You know, first session, what we're going to do is we're going to increase your conversion ratio. You know, you've got to give people certainty in an uncertain market, and you've got to make complexity simple. And then you have to create a frictionless sales process using the tools. But if you're a business leader and you're not thinking about your business like that, my question is, what are you thinking about? You know, why don't you hang around with a group of people and work on all 9 of those things at the same time every week? And, you know, so unless you're folding up your business, you've got a responsibility to drive the business. And, you know, it's a choice. You're going to surrender or die. Are you going to surrender and die? Or you're going to fight, you know? I get it. Some industries are decimated and you should get out.
As you can see, Simon is absolutely genius and he literally is one of the best. And it's all about, at the end of the day, applying it, putting it into action and making sure that you get the results for yourself. This is no longer about trying to hoard more information. I don't want you to go and move on and do something else without applying this stuff. That would be a massive waste of your time. That's procrastination, and that is not winners. That is not what winners are going to do. Winners are literally going to get the right stuff, apply it, and make sure it happens. Like, I literally walked away with pages of notes just from what Simon was able to give me so I can apply it into my own businesses. And that's what I want you to be able to do as well. So if you want to be able to have a quick one-on-one conversation with me and my team to make sure how we can actually distill this into your fitness business, I'll pop a link below for you to actually get a one-on-one session with me and my team, simply so we can actually figure out where are you, then figuring out where do you want to go, because then all we need to do is make sure we have that right plan. Exactly what we've just covered with Simon as well, piecing together, are you working on those 9 strategies? Do you have them in place, and are they actually doing the job for you at the end of the day? So I'll click a link below, and also chill out, it's completely free, this one-on-one strategy session. It's our way of making sure if we can actually help you first.